track and at the grid lineup as well. So on the front row it's the number 8 Aston Martin and the Hexis car of Jan Claret. There are the championship leaders on row 2 with another Hexis Aston Martin. Then you've got the Lamborghini of Peter Cox, another Lamborghini alongside of Nicky Pastorelli, and then the first of the Nissans and the Fords are together on row number 4, and another Lamborghini there of Sergio Jimenez. Alongside him is Richard Westbrook's car. Then we've got the Maserati and the Ford together on row 6. Row 7, a Maserati, the number 2 car, and the Corvette number 13 needs points as much as possible here. Basseng lines up alongside Hager on row 8. Then we've got Aston and Nissan back on row 9, but both those cars further back than expected. Ford and Nissan towards the back, and Carl Wendlinger's car, driven by Henri Moser to start with, are in position. 2 Aston Martins lead the way around the final turn as we get ready for the start of the race at Potrero de los Funes in Argentina. It is going to be a battle to the line. Stefan Mucker in the white and red young driver car. It's Jan Claret in the Hexis Aston Martin. We've got the championship leaders right behind them, Andrea Bertolini, but Michael Bartel's in the car at the moment. Here we go then, we're going racing in Argentina, and immediately somebody being squeezed up to the wall. It's a good start from the Hexis car of Jan Claret, who's got ahead of Stefan Mucker. And where is Michael Bartels? He's dropped a place. Oh, we've got contact already. 2 Astons in trouble, 3 Astons in trouble. I can't believe it.
Well, it's all coming through turn 1, and there was contact with the back of the young driver Aston with the Hexis car, and that took out the 3rd Aston Martin. That was the Clivio Piccioni car. All of a sudden, 3 cars on the front 2 rows of the grid are effectively out.
Championship leaders, Michael Bartel still running. He's in 4th, maybe 5th place, battling with one of the Fords there, I think. Yeah, just going through. That might well have been Thomas Much getting past him, but one of the Hexis cars has still survived. Look at them all ganging up on one another. Up front it is Jan Claret in the Hexis Aston Martin. He has survived that first corner, a little sort of mess that was going on. He's drawn away, but not surviving the car that was on pole, the number 8 machine of Stefan Mucker.
And that is the car that the fans have come to watch their hero not in it. He was going to get in it after the pit stop. And again, look at the circuit. You can see anybody going around the long way up into turn 9. That is, and the camera lens already, after half a lap, is almost completely covered.
Look at this overtaking up the inside from the Lamborghini, trying to get past Warren Hughes, and now diving through on the inside the Corvette. We're on board the Corvette as there he is, the yellow car, trying to take advantage of all of that. Great racing on this opening lap on a remarkable circuit. Through the tight chicane they come now. The leader is still Jan Claret, and up into 2nd place has come the Ford. That is a very good start, a very good getaway. I think that is the Nicholas Armindo Ford. We'll check that in a moment. I think that's the number 6 car from the Martech competition team, and it's him who's in 2nd. And Westbrook car of Thomas Much driving at the moment is up to 4th. So those 2 Martech Fords, John, managed to find their way through all the chaos that was going on at the first corner.
Well, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I don't know why those front row cars allowed themselves to become involved in a nudging match, which is what happened going through turn 2. That was the curve to the left, and all of a sudden the lead car out altogether, and 2 more Astons involved, but one of them has survived.
Yeah, so up front it is the Hexis Aston Martin that has survived. It is the car of Jan Claret, but being chased by Nicholas Armindo. Then in 3rd place is the Dominic Schwager Alico Lamborghini. So the Lamborghini in 3rd, but under pressure from Thomas Much in the 2nd Martech Ford. He's really going for it as they come down the main straight here. Thomas Much desperate to try and get past that Lamborghini ahead of him. Behind him is Michael Krum in the Nissan, the first of the Nissans, and Much moves one way then the other, but so far can't find a way past.
And there's really little room to do any overtaking from turn 2. Immediately you're into turn 3. You've got to get the speed off, and then you've got another run now out of 3 down the hill, then car Maserati running wide on the exit of turn 3.
Here comes Thomas Much. He's going to go for it up the inside. Meanwhile, Michael Krum's going up the outside. Oh, it could be trouble, but he's through. He's done a little bit of damage to the rear bumper, but he's made it through, and he's up into 3rd place.
Let's hope that bit of rear bodywork does not detach, or we may have to see a flag to bring that car in to get it removed.
2 Martech Fords are running 2nd and 3rd now. The Aston Martin of Jan Claret leads this race, but that was a great move from Thomas Much. They were very disappointed not to get into the top 8 in qualifying, but Much, who will hand over to Westbrook later in this race, is charging. Meanwhile, Michael Bartels is down to 7th place. Where is the other young driver, Aston of Enger and Turner? I tell you, he was down in 18th place, so they didn't actually have a very good first lap. Meanwhile, some more good. Here he is. We're on board with Thomas Enger. He is making ground. It looks like he's passed one. Oh, he might run into the back of the Nissan. Just about holds off and follows him through the corner.
Yeah, tries on the outside into turn 9, but no way around the outside. We know the track's dirty now. This run down through turn 10, then hard on the brakes for a tight, and this on the back of the car, all over the place as the Enger car tries to make ground.
The car ahead of them there was in a bit of trouble. I think that was Miguel Ramos, perhaps in the other Vitaphone Maserati, or it could have been Alfred Hager. Let's just take a look. This is back with the leaders. It's Aston, Ford, then Lamborghini and Nissan as they climb up this little mountain section. And look how close Amindo's got to the race leader. And that's the championship leader's been hit. Michael Bartels has been into the wall. He's been hit by another car. It's the Peter Cox Lamborghini. What is going on? Bertolini shakes his head. He can't believe it.
Well, that was just fairly, I would say, dumb. The Lamborghini just slammed into the side of the Maserati. No chance of making an overtaking manoeuvre on that part of the racetrack. Spun the Maserati round. It will now fall to the tail of the field, and the Lamborghini itself is in the wall as they climb up through turn 19.
But they can still win the championship in this race if the Thomas Enger car doesn't get in the top three. And at the moment, Thomas Enger's got a massive amount of work to do. Cross the line they go then. The Aston Martin ahead of the two Fords. Then the Lamborghini. Michael Krum is in fifth. Bas Linder's in sixth. Wait for the Aston. There is Thomas. No, he's not. There. Yeah, the third of the three cars coming through shot is Thomas Enger. He's got to find some more speed, but he's carrying ballast in that car after some success last time out, and it is definitely hurting them around this long circuit.
The only good thing he has got is the field is decimated. Side by side, will not quite up into turn 4.
That's Michael Krum in the Nissan trying to get past Dominic Schwager in the Lamborghini, and we know how fast the Nissan is in a straight line, and he's got a great run here, John. He could well be down the inside. Is he brave enough under braking?
He may be brave, but he didn't have the track position. He couldn't get alongside into turn 5. He now has got to wait to this long uphill through the turn 7 to the left, turn 8 to the right, and then the run all the way up to turn 9.
So riding on board with Thomas Enger, and he's actually with Bartels, I think, at the moment. So that's interesting. I think Bartels might be a bit behind him, actually. I think in front of him, it is the other Vitaphone car is around him. So we've got to watch out for the other Maseratis. But Enger has to find as much progress as possible in the early part of this race in order. And he's gone down the inside. It's one of the Hager Sport Maseratis. It is Matteo Bobby, I think, that he's just passed there. So it is another one gained. It could have been Alfred Hager, actually. Yeah, it might have been the Hager car. And if it is the Hager car, that would have put him up into 12th or 13th place. So he is making progress, but he's got to get in the top 3.
The difficulty he's going to have is the nearer he gets to the front, the more difficult it's going to come. As we go back to the leader, Aston Martin, still chased by the two Fords.
Yeah, this is very close between the Aston, the yellow flag still up there where the Lamborghini spun and presumably still there. I mean, I don't see how they can. Yeah, there it is. I can't get at that car. And, well, that's Christopher Haas who's in that car, who was driving that car. It's the car he shares with Peter Cox, but it was Christopher Haas, John, who made that move, and it apparently not a particularly good move. Aston Martin leads the two Fords as we get ready to go green here to Portoero de los Fudias. They're back up to full racing speed. Jan Claret in the Hexis car leads the two Fords of Nicolas Armindo and Thomas Much, opening up a gap over Schwager. Then Michael Krum and Bas Linders. Now, watch in the background how good a restart has Thomas Enger made. They're all fairly spaced out, in fact, single file, of course, as they came across the line, as opposed to being alongside one another at the original start. And away we go once more, and let's see who's going to start making some moves. You see the yellow Corvette in the middle, there's Thomas Enger. The one he should be chasing after is Henri Moser in the Nissan, the number 3 car. That's his next target, I think, unless he was able to get him into the first corner. I doubt it. And there are the race leaders. It's still Aston Martin, Ford and Ford.
I don't think the restart did anybody any particular favours, and in fact the field was so stretched out from the lead Aston all the way down to the Aston of Enger in 13th place. A very long gap indeed, and you can see even at the lead 3 cars, they're not as closely bunched as they would have been if they had started as they did a few minutes ago, the race proper.
And we've got just under 4 minutes until the pit lane opens up, so really it's going to be a busy time in this race. Got somebody perhaps making a little bit of a look down the inside. That was Jonathan Hershey in his Aston Martin, having a little look at Bas Linders in his Ford, but there was no change. That is for 6th position, top 3 into the tight chicane there at turns 11, 12 and 13.
Well, Aston coming under pressure from the 4 GT in 2nd place. Armindo in that particular car, that will be handed over to Neil Yanni in the car in 3rd place. Thomas Munch will go to Richard Westbrook, and Richard Westbrook we saw stunning in Portimao and pretty stunning elsewhere as well.
But it's still Jan Claret doing a fine job, the Frenchman, driving with Fred Makovecki in that Hexis car. He'll be handing it over in a little while. But there's the guy taking over the other Hexis car we were riding with a moment, the number 10 machine, which is putting pressure on Bas Linders in his Ford. They're all climbing up the hill. Behind them we've got Jimenez in the number 25 Lamborghini. Then we've got Margaritis.
The two 4 GTs are all over the back of the Aston. In fact, they're going to try and make a move as they come up into this quick chicane to the left, to the right, but I think that Ford GT Mendo may well, no, he loses, suddenly he's lost ground. All of a sudden that second place car just out of the throttle. Whether it's a mechanical problem, it is a problem for the second place car, number 4.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, that's the Armindo Yanni car.
I think he might have a puncture in left rear.
Suddenly slowing down, and it looks as though he's in big trouble. So, race leader still Claire, but now it's Thomas Mutsch up into second, Schwager third, Michael Krum is fourth, and the team don't even know what happened. And Neil Yardi can't believe it. He was due to take that car over any moment in about the next 3 minutes. Now, what's going on down here? The Corvette is trying to find a way through. He's got Henri Moser and Thomas Enger behind him.
So 4 cars all fighting for position. Still in 13th place, Thomas Enger, but he's now got the position to at least have a top at one of those 3 cars ahead.
Look at him, he's in the mix here at this little group of cars. He's the last one in line as the Corvette and the Nissan go wheel to wheel, and Enger will try and take advantage of that, but the guy he's trying to pass, the young Swiss driver Henri Moser, not making it too easy for him.
But he got past the Moser, got past the Corvette. Now it's the Aston Martin over the back of the Corvette into turn 5.
That's right, the Nissan did get past the yellow Corvette. That's a good move by Henri Moser, the younger driver, and Thomas Enger's going to have to watch out. Oh, and that is the Nicholas Armindo car. Is it a puncture?
I think that may be a right rear puncture. The car slowed all of a sudden, coming up into turn 20.
Jonathan Hershey down the inside of the Ford of Bas Linders, and he's taken that place. That is 5th place for the Hexis Aston Martin. Astons are still flying here despite problems at the start of the race when they all seem to run into each other. They're getting themselves sorted. They're now leading and in 5th position rather, I should say. So good start from them. Watch out for the Nissan of Michael Krum, the big Nissan chasing the Lamborghini. That could be one for the final podium spot in this qualifying race, and Michael Krum is definitely going for it. A little bit of a lock-up from the Aston Martin into the slowest corner on the track.
Yes, defense from Schwager and the Lamborghini. The Nissan looking like it wanted to dive down the inside into turn 16. Not close enough to do it.
Michael Bartels still running. The championship leaders are still running down in 17th place. At the moment it looks as though they will still rep up this title if things stay as they are. Enger needs to find a lot more ground, but remember the pit stops could help him. The young driver team are very rapid on their pit stops, and he could gain places for Darren Turner, who will take over in a little while. Through the fast kink they come then, looking back at the Ford GT. Up front though, it's still the Aston Martin of Jan Claret that leads. There he is. There's Mutsch, then there's Schwager going through, chased by Krum. Bas Linders putting a lot of pressure on in the middle there of Hershey. He's been passed by Hershey, and now it looks as though he wants to get back past him. And behind them we've got the young Brazilian Sergio Jimenez closing up.
Yeah, that Lamborghini looking down the inside into turn 2. Again, no real possibility. You're on the brakes, down 2 gears, turn 3. Then you can think about it, maybe the run up to turn 4. It's a reasonable run. Get track position, you might have a chance.
Meanwhile, Enger got past the Corvette on that last lap, just so that you know. He's up to 11th place now, so he's also got past the Phoenix Corvette. Alex Marguerite is dropping back a touch. This is Michael Krum on a charge. This is for 3rd place. And that Nissan we know is good and powerful and strong, and it might be out of this corner that he has the advantage.
Yeah, the run down to turn 5, too short. Everybody under acceleration, so the braking zone doesn't offer up enough opportunities. Then from 6 all the way up to turn 9 at the top of the hill, highest part of the racetrack. Well, that we have seen a couple of cars so far manage to make it through.
Yeah, this is where the Nissan's V8 power is going to come into its own, but is it enough to get alongside? There's your answer, it's not. And he's got to follow the Lamborghini through what we're calling the cliff face corner, because I tell you what, you can see it on the right. If you go off there, you're straight into the cliff pretty much. And we're back on board with Michael Krum. He'll be handing over to Peter Dumbreck shortly.
So it's in through turn 11, 12, then 13, then the run from here. A brief run down to turn 14, downhill, and an off-camber right-hand corner just to unsettle the car even further.
He needs to get as many points as possible. He'll only get points if he moves into 3rd here, remember. Only the top 3 scoring. But Sumo Power so desperate to beat Young Driver and Hexis. Hexis are a real threat here this weekend. They've got 2 cars up in the top 5 places at the moment. They're going to score brilliantly from that if they do the same in the championship race. So Sumo Power are very keen that Michael Krum find a way past this Lamborghini just ahead and get onto the podium.
Well, certainly Michael Krum has got a lot of power up the hill. That V8 can really push the Nissan, where the V12 Lamborghini, it's having to wind itself up to get to the basic power.
It's the pits. We've got driver changes coming up then. The race leaders in. A lot of them coming in. Jonathan Hershey stays out, so Piccioni won't be taking over just yet. Now, I wonder what Young Driver will do. Will they bring Thomas Enger in straight away, or will they leave him out? for a lap or two. It depends probably on what the cars ahead do.
It depends on the cars ahead and whether they feel that they can gain something by staying out. Certainly clear air will give Thomas Engen an opportunity to maybe shave a couple of more seconds off the cars that maybe look now. Richard Westbrook is in, so I wait to see whether that Aston Martin of Engen and Turner is in.
This could see a few changes here. Will the Hexis team maintain their advantage? Was there a problem on one of the wheels there on this Martech car? I'm not sure. Meanwhile, on board the number 25 Lamborghini as leaping out of the car. That was Jimenez, and it's Frank Kekkeler, the youngster, the young German driver who's been so impressive. On board now, Peter Dumbreck takes over the number 23 Nissan. The Scottish driver on his way. Richard Westbrook's on his way. Who's going to be out of the pit lane first of this initial group? Fred Makavicki has had a good stop. The leader looks to have retained the lead of those that have stopped. The lead currently being held by Jonathan Hershey, his teammate. Oh, and that was a great stop by Sumo Power. Peter Dumbreck, they've been practicing so hard, and they've got him ahead of Westbrook. They've got him ahead of the Lamborghini as well.
And that's a disappointment for Ford GT that they thought they were in a good position. Came in second, going out fourth. Now Richard Westbrook's got to do a lot more work than he might have anticipated.
Well, great work by Sumo Power. Haley and I were being shown how to do a driver change earlier this weekend, and Sumo Power have really delivered there with a fantastic stop. Bertolini getting ready for Bartels to come in. Don't forget, if you want to find out more about GT racing and behind the scenes, oh, look at Westbrook. Westbrook having a go at the Lamborghini. He's throwing up the inside, can't do it. Goes back on line to get some grip. The Lamborghini goes wide. Here comes Westbrook's chance. He's through.
Yeah, into turn 4, put the Lamborghini under pressure. Now the VDS Ford also gets up alongside, and Nicky Pastorelli, in fact, in that car. So 2 places lost and 2 corners to Lamborghini.
Yeah, really struggling there a little bit in the Lamborghini, and he's been blitzed by the 2 Ford GTs. That's the Vastlinder's Maxime Martin car that's just gone past them. So a little bit of work to be done. But
of course, then he has to fall back into line. The power of the Nissan really just too much for the Ford GT. Ford's got the handling, Nissan's got the brute horsepower. Richard Westbrook's going to think about it. His best chance now may have to come up into turn 4. Good clean exit out of this corner we're in now. May see him get onto the tail of this car. We're looking at the Nissan and try and put himself into position to do what he did to the Lamborghini 2 laps ago.
2 British drivers going hard at it for the final podium spot there. Peter Dumbreck versus Richard Westbrook. You're looking back though from the car ahead of them, which is Clivio Piccioni's Aston Martin, holding second for the Hexis team while his teammate runs away. Oh, look at this, trying to go one way, trying to go the other. He's on line, he's got on the rubber. Can he go around the outside, side by side? Oh, good racing, they keep it clean.
But watch Baz Linders, the 4th of these cars. He now sees an opportunity as Westbrook battles with the Nissan. They're thinking about what they're doing, not what's going on behind them.
We've got it again in Argentina. Now you're back on board with Westbrook as he looks for a way past Dumbreck into this tricky chicane area, the tighter chicane of the 2. And Piccioni has overrun the corner. He's overrun the corner. It's given a chance for Dumbreck, but Piccioni's still got the inside. Westbrook's gone through.
Yes.
How did he do that?
Well, compromised because of Piccioni. Had compromised Peter Dumbreck, and Richard Westbrook has been sitting waiting for that opportunity. Now he's coming up to the tail of the Aston Martin. He needed to get, and the Nissan has lost 2 more places.
Has it got a problem? Has Peter Dumbreck got a problem with that car? He's suddenly lost a load of places. He did get compromised, but you wouldn't have expected him to lose 3-4 places. Meanwhile, Westbrook now throws himself at the back of the Aston Martin. Remember, Westbrook now in 3rd. Look at the Ford, eating its way into the Aston almost, and he's up the inside. He has gone through there into turn 19. A wonderful move.
Yeah, he got the drive off the corner of the Aston, couldn't get his power down, and therefore he got alongside. But once he's on the inside, Piccioni had no choice. He had to concede into turn 19.
Westbrook's into 2nd place. He's not got much chance of winning this thing unless there's a problem for the race leader, Fred Makavicki, who is way ahead up the road. But he has fought so hard to get into 2nd place. That is a major importance to them as a team. 14 seconds though the gap to the race leader. Piccioni still clinging on by his fingernails in 3rd place. Behind him now is Maxime Martin in the Mark VDS Ford, and behind him is Peter Dumbreck, then it's Kekkeler, then Dumbreck. So Kekkeler crossed the line in the Lamborghini ahead of Dumbreck, who is still running, but Dumbreck, don't know quite what happened, whether he just got caught out, but he definitely seems to be struggling now at the tail end of this group and being caught by Carl Wendlinger.
Well, there was a little bit of damage to the front splitter. We saw that after the contact with Piccioni. Now Piccioni under pressure from the Ford down the inside, and again I suspect this is just a function of the grip levels vis-a-vis the Ford GT and the Aston Martin. The Lamborghini now looking to try and put Piccioni one spot further back.
And indeed, you're right, John, because none of the teams really had enough running over practice to
a couple of laps ago, but basically his position now is in 5th place, and he's again having to defend the Lamborghini. There you can see lap 18, 0.2 of a second quicker. Lap 16, it was just a fraction of a second. So the gap between the Lamborghini and the Nissan again beginning to close down to the Lamborghini.
Yep, it's a bit of a seesaw battle, but Dumbreck certainly doesn't have the pace of the Fords up ahead. He's in the 2 minute 16s as opposed to the 2 minute 14s, so quite a big gap in potential pace. And the Lamborghini, as you say, has been a bit up and down. Kekela now closing up to the and the Nissan a bit wide there. He gets it back, but again you can see it is definitely sliding around a bit. That'll give hope to this guy Frank Kekela as he tries to gain the place, and you can see that Nissan getting a bit lazy.
Up alongside, up into turn 19.
No way that Dumbreck can hold him off, surely. They make a little bit of contact through 19. They both make it, and Kekela has retaken 5th place.
And again, poor Peter Dumbreck has been forced out onto the dirty part of the racetrack. And the problem that he suffered a number of laps ago when he lost a number of positions, he again has had that problem, being forced out wide and onto the dirty bit of the racetrack.
Well, they've had a great dice, these drivers, throughout this race, but Michael Krum looking a little more pensive now. They could so much do with a podium finish, but they're down to 6th now.
I think I would sum it up in a different way. Michael Krum distinctly unimpressed.
Well, it's the way it is. I think that Nissan has definitely lost grip now. There's not a lot he's got to work with there, and just has to settle for the fact that the Lamborghini's got more grip, but behind him, even more honour at stake, because is he going to finish as top Nissan or not? Behind him is Carl Wendlinger. Wendlinger's got a bit of pressure on him. There are 25 points on offer in the championship race, but if it finishes like this, the Aston Martin will be 28 points behind the Maserati. So even if they were to win the championship race, they wouldn't be able to close the gap. That's the way it's looking at the moment. Just to remind you, though, the race itself has been a real exciting right from the word go, really, because we lost the pole sitter, Stefan Mucker, when he ran into the back of another Aston Martin. Since then, we've seen that other Aston Martin, the number 9 car, lead this race, and it's still got a 13.3 second gap over everyone else. Westbrook is currently in 2nd in his Ford GT, Maxime Martin there in 3rd. These two haven't really separated themselves at all over the last 5-6 laps. They're lapping very, very close to one another in terms of lap time. They are as quick as anything on track, but it's such a big gap to the leader that there's no real chance of closing it down.
No, they're just holding station, doing what they're doing. I mean, there is pressure from the VDS Ford on the Vantage Ford. Maxime Martin would be delighted to take away that 2nd place from Richard Westbrook.
Not going to be easy. Westbrook will do his utmost to fend him off, I'm sure, as he heads down into the first proper 2 corners, the left and the right. You can see, though, that the Mark VDS number 40 car has definitely had the edge on the last few laps.
And it closed up coming out of turn 3 all the way down to 4 into turn 5. So there is still no sort of relief for Richard Westbrook to believe that he can have a nice position on number 2 podium. I think that the Maxime VDS Ford Maxime Martin is still a threat to that 2nd place position.
Impressive drive this from Maxime Martin. In fact, he's been impressive recently in a number of races. He's only 24, started out in karting, but then Formula Renault with Thierry Boutsen's Formula Renault team in Belgium, actually, and was quite successful back in 2006. He's raced a Morgan, amongst other things, in recent years, as Maxime Martin.
Haven't we all?
Have you, John?
No,
that's nice to know.
No.
But he's putting the pressure on Richard Westbrook, and you have to say, knowing Westbrook's pedigree, that this is impressive stuff from Maxime Martin behind him. Livio Piccioni still holding on to 4th, by the way, in the 2nd Hexis Aston Martin. Frank Kekela is in 5th place. Peter Dumbreck is still 6th in the top Nissan, but only just ahead of the other Nissan of Carl Wendlinger. Now you're on board here with Andrea Bertolini, all going not quite according to plan, perhaps, but are going okay in terms of winning the championship.
Good enough to do the job that they came here to do. They didn't want to have this incident with the Lamborghini. They didn't want to be involved in midfield scraps. But here they are in a position to take the championship without even scoring a point.
That's right, but it's all about the rest of the year as well, isn't it? It's about their performance throughout the course of the season that has got them into this position, and now they just have to see what happens to the others, but it's looking great for them. Darren Turner still down in 10th place at the moment and no way to move up to the top 3. Let's get down and hear from co-driver of the lead car, Jan Claret.
Yeah, and after a challenging start, it looks like Makovic might bring it home for you. Yeah, I was a little bit very hot at the first corner because Muko pushed me out, and after I pushed, but I think the car has some little bit damage on the back. But for the moment, it's okay. It's a good way to win the race, but it's most important to win not this race but the last one. And I hope to the car was okay, and we will see after.
Thank you, Jan.
Sorry. Interrupting Jan Claret there, very happy at the moment. So if they can hold on to this, it will be a major achievement. We've only got 1 minute and 3/4 to go, and Fred Makovic looking smooth and controlled. Impressive young driver lineup here. 30-year-old Makovic, who was fourth in the 2009 European GT3 Championship in an Aston.
Yeah, and this could actually be the last lap because the third sector of this racetrack is over 1.5 minutes long, and he's just into that sector now.
Yep, that's right. It's going to be fairly close. He might just get across the line to get it one more lap. Meanwhile, the two Maseratis running close in the 11th and 12th places. Alex Muller in the white car with the orange mirrors, and they're the Vitaphone car that is heading towards the driver's title. It's not the team's championship yet, though, because I think you'll find that they may not have enough gap over the young driver team on this one. We'll have to wait and have a look at that, but it may be, in fact, because there's no young driver car scoring in this race, so it could actually be the double, in this one.
And Bertolini was flashing his headlights at the Muller car. He has now gained an additional position. In effect, the flash of the headlights said, let me get through. I want to consolidate this championship. I don't want to have any questions or doubts, and there is a Nissan behind me. I don't want to have that involved in an incident in this one. Half a minute of this race remaining.
And indeed, yes, it is the double potentially coming up. Just looking at those points once again, they need to have 43 points over everyone else at the end of this race. Well, they've already got 47 points over anyone else. Young driver who we thought would go well with the pole sitter, but it hasn't happened because they went out in the first corner. So it is the double they're heading for here as the clock ticks away. Are we going to get one more lap? I think we are. Cross the line with the clock still. Oh, we got checkered flag. We have a checkered flag.
And it's strange.
The flag, very strange.
Yes, indeed. The flag has been furled with there were 7 or 8 seconds of the lap to go.
I think he's been told to keep going here. If I was the team manager, Philippe Dumas, who is a racer himself, I'd be on that radio and say, do not back off. We're not 100% sure. Keep going.
And I tell you what, I'm sure other people in the pit lane will be immediately looking at the rule book and saying, why was the flag shown when they were still there? Michael Bartels may be doing that very thing. Why was the flag thrown with 7 seconds of the race still to run?
That is bizarre, but we're showing checkered flag on our timing screens as well as being shown on the circuit, so that is a slightly odd one, but we'll have to wait and see. What it means is that Makovic and Claret have won, but we have our FIA GT1 World Champions of 2010. They are Michael Bartels and Andrea Bertolini, and the Vitaphone Maserati team wins the team's championship. It has been a stunning year. They have been consistent throughout. They've taken 2 victories with that car, but the most important thing...
Long season, hard season, and now it's over. I think we did overall the year a very consistent job. And okay, now finally it was not such a good race because I had an accident, but 11th place was enough because number 7 Aston Martin was not there in the top 3, so it was okay. I think we did the points over the last races on the Saturdays in the qualifying races, which was the key to the success.
Great. Thank you, congratulations.
So well done to Michael Bartels, he's done it. What a successful team they have been. But John, it is the inaugural World Championship, and just that branding, the World Championship has got to mean so much to these guys.
Well, I mean, spending it in areas which might look glamorous and exciting, it's spending it in the team, making sure you get the best possible pieces. Mission accomplished, #1, right on the money.
Yeah, they have certainly done it. 7th place. Let's confirm those results of the qualifying race. The Aston Martin of the Hexis team, Fred Makovic and Jan Claret taking a dominant win from Richard Westbrook and Thomas Much in their Ford, then Maxime Martin and Bas Linders in their Ford GT. 4th place, the other Hexis car, so very impressive team effort there. The Lamborghini of the Reiter team of Kekela and Jimenez was 5th. The first of the Nissans was Dumbreck and Krum in 6th, and then their best result of the season for Wendlinger and Moser in 7th place. Maserati of Pierre Guidi and Verdonk in 8th, Lamborghini behind them of Pastorelli and Schwager. 10th place vitally for Turner and Enger wasn't enough, and in 11th place and winning both titles, Bertolini and Bartels in the Vitaphone Maserati. 12th place went to Hager, just behind them, and then the next Nissan, the other Sumo Power car of Jamie Campbell-Walter and Warren Hughes. Rizzati and Basseng in their Lamborghini finished 14th, the other Ford of Paltella and Bobby 15th. The other Vitaphone cars we've heard was only 16th, and down in 17th after a problem on the Ford was Yanni and Armindo. The Corvette failed to finish, sadly. But let's go down to the pit.